Good morning, PW. Today we're going to go to Adam Brock with the announcements, then Louis Wine with your national news, then me, and then Dave with the weather. Your iBlock News starts now.
Hello, I'm Elvis Duran from the Q102 Morning Show, and you're watching iBlock News.
Good morning, PW. I'm Louis Wine.
And I'm Adam Brock.
And these are your announcements.
There is a reminder that ski trip payments for the February trip to Killington, Vermont, are due by Friday, January 18th. Submit your payments to Mr. Blizzard in the Counseling Center. The Dr. Kenneth Wilkinson Foundation is presenting a scholarship and you to be the lucky recipient. Applications are available in the College Counseling Office. The deadline for application submissions is April 5th. Attention seniors, be sure to continually check the scholarship portion of your Naviance account for local and national scholarship opportunities available to Plymouth Whitemarsh students. The PWHS Scholarship Fund has been added, as well as other local scholarships and applications are available in the College Counseling Office.
Good morning, PW. I'm Louis Wine with a look at your national news. Sunday was the anniversary of one of the worst cruise ship disasters since the RMS Titanic back in 1912. As I said on Monday, here's a timeline of events on the night that the Costa Concordia crashed. At 7 p.m. on Saturday, January 13, 2012, the ship set sail from port near Rome with 4,229 people aboard. Among these people, 3,000 of them were tourists and more than 1,000 were crew. By 8:30, passengers are having dinner or in their cabins going about unpacking and settling in. 9:30, the ship hits a rock just off the Tuscan island of Giglio. 5 minutes later, the electricity goes off and panic starts to set in. At 9:45, the first alarm sounded, which consisted of 2 long whistles and 1 short, informing the crew of a problem. 5 minutes after the first alarm, the ship began to list, causing dishes in the dining hall to crash to the floor. Passengers run to their cabins for their life vests. By 10 o'clock, passengers are on the 4th deck where the lifeboats are located. 10 minutes later, the abandoned ship signal was given, which consists of 7 short whistles and 1 long one. The lifeboats then begin their deployment. By 10:20, the Coast Guard launches rescue operations with the help of speedboats and helicopters. The island people help transfer passengers to shore and take them into their homes. Some passengers decide to take the icy plunge instead of waiting for a lifeboat. At 11:15, the first lifeboat reaches the island, and by 11:40, the captain, Francisco Citino, is found ashore. The Costa Concordia did not partake in a practice drill before the incident. The law required that it be done within the first 24 hours aboard a ship. Maritime law has since changed the rule, now making the cruise ship do an evacuation drill before they leave port. Dozens of students in a Nashville school are hospitalized after a carbon monoxide leak. Drexel Preparatory Academy, located in Nashville, Tennessee, made headlines after 49 students were brought to a local hospital. The school's principal said that students started coming to the office Monday complaining of flu-like symptoms, prompting the school to cancel classes. Later that day, the school got a call from Vanderbilt University Children's Hospital stating that many students showed high levels of carbon monoxide. 40 students out of the 49 were admitted into the hospital for 23 hours of oxygen treatment. Upon investigation, school officials found a hole in the heating unit. All students are expected to recover. We'll be right back with Dave and the Witten after these messages.
Dave eats breakfast every morning to prepare for his daily challenges. John, on the other hand, never eats before class. He shows up late and sometimes not at all. As you can see, he has trouble performing well in school. Unlike Dave, who receives straight A's. Here at PW, we know the negatives of skipping breakfast, so your school provides it for you. A full breakfast is only $2.10. This includes the main item along with milk. You also can get either a fruit or juice. Some of the healthier choices include whole wheat or low-fat items. Make your way over to Cafe West, where every day of the week they make a different breakfast.
A blast of cold air is on the way. I am David Wynn with a look at what you can expect. We'll take a look at your latest temperatures, and currently we are in the lower 30s at this hour with a temperature of 30 degrees with clearing conditions from the west. But we'll take a look at your latest surface map, and you can see that here's the storm that passed to our south yesterday that brought snow to places like North Carolina and the Virginias, where some places picked up as much as a foot of snow. However, we do have high pressure building in from the Tennessee Valley. And if we take a look at the futurecast, as we head through this weekend, look at this enormous Arctic front to our north. This thing is going to plummet through our region next week, and temperatures are going to drop down all the way into the teens as we head through the course of next week. We'll take a look at your 7-day forecast, and today, expect a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 36 and a low of 26. Saturday will be mostly sunny with a high of 47 and a low of 31. Sunday will also be mostly sunny with a high of 42 and a low of 25. Monday, expect a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 32 and a low of 22. Tuesday will also be partly cloudy with a high of 29 and a low of 19. Wednesday will be partly cloudy with a high of 30 and a low of 19. And Thursday will be mostly sunny with a high of 35 and a low of 27. With that being said, I have some very exciting news that I must share with you all today. As many of you are aware, I do plan on continuing on into college after I graduate this year to study meteorology, and I'm very excited and proud to announce that I have been accepted to the College of Earth and Mineral Sciences at Penn State University Park, where they offer one of the best meteorology programs in the country. So I need to take this opportunity to thank many people, and I first want to thank the iBlock News viewers for supporting me over the years, the iBlock News team for helping me produce the weather each and every day. These guys do an amazing job and work very hard to help me put together the weather graphics, so I want to say thank you. And I also need to say thank you to Mr. McWilliams for giving me this amazing opportunity. However, there is one other person that I cannot forget, and that is Miss Edwards, who introduced me to Mr. McWilliams back in 9th grade. So I just want to say thank you for making a dream of mine come true. And as Ms. Moyer has taught me this semester, you should always follow your passion and dreams, and that is what I plan on to do when I attend Penn State next year. That is all for today. For iBlock News, I'm David Wynn. Have a great day.
Hi, how's it going, PW? So I want to talk to you about something today. I really hate the entire system of the dimly lighted, uncomfortable chair, sticky, stuffy, loud, smelly, silverware clinking world that is known as the restaurant. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing I love more in this world than a hostess asking me if I'm ready to order when I literally sat down 10 seconds ago. But everything else is a bigger nightmare than Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's baby. Also, speaking of which, that is going to be one awful baby. It'll probably have a weirdly progressive name like Apple, hashtag, or Genghis, but sorry, what were you talking about? Yes, restaurants. So, the second you walked in, you're greeted by those uncomfortable half-bench, half-booth waiting areas, staring right at the board with specials in that weird stuff that's not quite a dry erase marker or chalk. After what seems like forever or one screening of The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, the hostess seats you at a table that hasn't quite been cleaned, so you have to use your own precious napkin supply to wipe up globs of ketchup and empty Sweet and Low packets. Either that or the minimum wage busboy takes all the time in the world to slowly wipe everything down. After that, you have to search through the endless sea of entree choices until you end up ordering, and then just as you say your choice, you realize, oh, that was a horrible decision. If you're lucky, the hostess will bring all of your dishes at once instead of everybody's except for yours, and then you have to end up sitting there while everyone at the table pities you and offers you a forkful of macaroni, rigatoni, and other words with the suffix tony. Also, the hostess forgets to mention that your plate is hotter than Lindsay Lohan in 2004, so you end up burning off your fingerprints. By the end of one meal, you have sticky hands, second-degree tongue and finger burns, leftovers that you'll throw away in a week, and one person at your table who just wants to order dessert for a bite. Death could not come quicker. By the way, people sitting at the table adjacent to me, I don't know what you're talking about, but I know you do not have to be laughing that loudly. So, I'm cooling down. That's all for my rant today. Want me to rant about something? Well, just yell a topic at me while I'm trying to go to class, while I'm eating lunch, or even while I'm using the bathroom.
Well, that's all for your iBlock News today, PW. This has been Adam Brock.
And I'm Louis Wine for everybody here at iBlock News. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.